2, 1. Are we live? Are we live? Are we live? Did you miss me? I missed you. No, really, I missed this. I missed this. So, no stream. Are we having some technical problems? I should be live. One day this will just work. Really? Okay. I cannot watch my own video because it's only available to subscribers. That's strange. Let's try this again. Live now. Live now. So, did you miss me? Did you miss my stumbling at every beginning to warm up? Oh, this is three. Ooh, if you could see this. Preview there of the stream going in. Preview there of the stream going out, and another preview here to check everything is working. So I'm gonna do some work here and here. And yeah, I totally lost you. So you know the drill. We're back at Fiiish. Fiiish, Fiiish, Fiiish. Did you miss Fiiish? I missed Fiiish. I missed Fiiish a lot. So yeah, I missed Fiiish. I really missed doing Fiiish, and yeah, I had fun doing the other stuff. Oh, yeah, we did all the 64 stuff together from the boat. Remember, with the bad setup and one screen and constantly having the wrong window. I hope that will be much better today. I mean, I have 1, 2, 3 previews. So if anything goes wrong, I should realize today. And actually, I can see the chat. Light. If you could see this room, there's a new light there, and there's new light there, and there's new light there. So you can see shadows. Yeah, maybe not. Still working on it. Literally arrived today and set it all up, and had to go to the store again to buy the correct cable, power cables, and yada yada, just to make this look a bit better. And I hope this works. My new MacBook arrived. My new MacBook arrived. Can you imagine how much it means that I'm talking to you instead of playing with this? And this is probably the last laptop I'll ever buy. Well, the last one lasted 7 years, and I think another 7 years in the future, nobody will use laptops anymore. So let's see how that goes. Plan for today. Can I do a triple click, please? No, I can't. Funny. I got used to the, yeah, plan for today. It's a bit early, so we're gonna dive right into an hour, maybe an hour and a half to get our feet wet again, warm up our hands, and then I'm gonna take a longer break, have some dinner, family, and then we keep going. And the plan for today is, remember that background box we identified with a missing. I'll show you in a second. And also the excuse me. Yeah, that cold is not gone yet. So remember that background bug we had? Actually, I think, yeah, it's still kind of, remember the strange scrolling, screen too wide? We're gonna fix that today. And then we also look into the into the title screen overlay zoom, because these are the two things that absolutely need to get fixed to get a new version in the store. And it's been I think it's been 5 years almost that there was no update in the store. So I want to upload that now. I'm just gonna turn down the mic a bit. Maybe I'm a bit too loud today. I hope this is better. Sorry for blowing your ears away. So let's dive straight in, and probably I'm going to talk a lot in the beginning and then quieten down a bit when I focus more. And side note, remember this screenshot running script? I just reran it, and it runs for like nearly 16 minutes, and I set up the new laptop, and that's a nice thing about Macs. You turn it on, you enter your password, and 5 minutes later everything is just working again, and basically it can do the whole thing in about 8 minutes, and 7.5 minutes of that are running the sorry, wrong screen, are running the script on the 4 different devices. So that's nice. Yeah. And this year, the 11 Pro Max, this title screen thing here is the one we want to fix. I'm seeing some glitches on my preview, but the stream also seems to be slightly glitching. I'm not gonna fuss with the setup now because it will just break. During the break, I'll fix it. So apologies for if you see some green streaks. I'm not sure what's wrong there because the setup is pretty standard, and I hope by Friday I'll stream from the new device. So let's see how that goes. So let's close the Safari window here. And I still haven't updated Fastlane, so apologies for that. Let's jump straight in. And remember, we had this problem with the 11 Pro Max. Actually, also with the other widescreen devices. I hope this is the point we left off, and let's quickly check if we have any commits open. So this is just updated screenshots. This is fine. And the overlay is working nicely too. So we built this. Let's run this. This is probably going to take a minute to start up the simulator. No, I'm not going to whistle the Jeopardy tune. Probably I'm gonna get in trouble for that. So it's starting. It probably will have the rotation problem because I used the simulator for the hardware. Rotate left, rotate right, and again, this is just a pure simulator thing. And here we have the problem. So what I want to do, step one, get to the problem faster. And I don't want to, it's appearing every 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, every 10 seconds. But excuse me, but every 10 seconds is pretty slow, and I have to put the mouse away. This is the wrong screen. So let me give this a bit more space here. And I'm not sure how I will do the layout with the new laptop, because right now I give you the full screen and native size. That won't work with a bigger display. But so all the shortcuts work. And so this is a background renderer that we talked about, and this is some doing I basically is rendering 6 triangles, so 3 quads, so 1, 2, and 3, and I don't even okay. Let's, because we have the debug renderer, which I'll show you in a minute, which renders these 50% red lines across the screen, and maybe that helps to understand what's actually going on. And I probably have turned off the debug renderer. Yeah, I did turn off the debug renderer, but that's pretty quick to used Windows 4 weeks. All my shortcuts, all my muscle memory in my fingers is broken. So turn the debug renderer on. Oh, this is a release build, so yeah. Maybe we just go to a full debug build. So you see the red triangles here in the background? That is one of them. So this is just the left one of them, and it shows how the background scrolls too. But we totally so we're gonna switch. No, we're gonna switch back the release debug build and turn this off again. I just realized it's much faster. The full debug build is just slow, which will slow us down. So if we go to the background thingy here, and I'm not sure what I've been thinking, drinking. Oh, I remember. This all started before we had shader support, so there was no way to scroll the texture in the shader. So I'm gonna just a second. I wish I could do this side by side, but I'm just gonna wait a second. We could just trace it, but so if you see the simulator, okay, this was obviously too late, so let's turn this off and try again. It was just too slow. In Edinburgh, there will be more buses for Christmas, and my watch needed to tell me right now. So it was too late again, but actually I wanted to get the offset here, so it's 0.4. So let's just see in the update we set the offset, and what we just gonna do is I'm just gonna set it to 0.4. Let's see if 0.3 is bad. Yes, the wrong key again. Windows keys. Hack to force bad background. And yeah, we can just delete this breakpoint. I'm amazed how fast this is. This is so fast, and this is the old laptop. I don't even want to know how the why. Why is this? So it's set here. We set it. Um, so it should always be 0.3, right? Because we set it to 0.3. Why is the background moving at all? So the background is 0.3 plus some change. And the background is 0.3. And the background is 0.3. So I wonder, this has been so long. So the renderer, let's go back one step and go to the other one. And isn't it nice how this all just works? So this offset is being set. So is somebody else setting the offset? No, it's only the, wait. Yeah, so it's, no, so this is game object manager, and this is, so the game renders the game objects. Let's wait a second here. So we're coming from the game. So the app renders the game state, and right now there is only one game state. Then the game state renders the game. The game renders all game objects. So the other one, the game object manager, was just a, yeah. So I'm wondering if I go here and then I go here, just taking extra steps so we all can see. Find symbol. I'm pretty sure this is bug again, so we have a render effect GLES, which is not used. It should be the renderer. Is this actually used? Yeah. Oh, M offset. Uniform M offset. So it's actually here where it's set. I'm just gonna, so this is our 0.3. And let's just continue. This is our 0.3, so why is the background moving? You know what I mean, right? This background has a constant offset, but it's, oh, my bad. So bad naming, simply bad naming. Let me undo the mess I made here, because offset is the offset in the face of the animation. Remember the indirect texture lookup? Do we have it open here? No. The color gradient is the offset, and actually the position X, the X pos here, is the scroll in the X direction. So the X pos is dependent of the position X. Now I'm using Windows shortcuts again. I'm pretty sure. So this is a game object. We're not caring about the game object. We want the background. So who is moving the background? So we have the game, not Windows shortcuts, and the game has a background object. And this is used in a lot of places. So this is a place when we die, we tell it, look, go black. This is initialization and the setting of the two textures, the default, the gray swirlies and the gradient. This is which layer it's supposed to use. This is a render effect, so we have a specialized render effect, which is super good. We set it to full screen, whatever that does. Let's ignore this, and we have a speed. So the background has a speed. Oh, and then every game object. So, okay, I get it. Oh, this is interesting. This is interesting because every game object has a speed, and then in its update method, unless we override it and game background updates it, it updates the position. I wonder if we could enable the stats, how they are. Let's do that, because we have this GP stats, and you remember our pattern. The class doesn't know it's the only one, but we have one defined one, and we have this stats thing which is rendered somewhere, and it has an iterator, so probably so we have the UI stats overlay, and this has been a long time, which basically renders it. It's just a UI control. I wonder who turns that on and off. So let's see. And I could as well be going through a foreign code base here, and probably would do the same. So the UI root has a stats overlay that's disabled in the release. So okay, let's finally go back to debug, and it gets initialized where? I'm not seeing the assignment to it. Do you? Okay. But who is... If it is there, we do all the right stuff, but who is actually creating it? So, oh, look what I found here. Let's step by step. This is a re-warm up to Fiiish show, remember? And I guess it's much more entertaining for you if I fail than if everything just works magically out of the box. This will be so. This here is the stats overlay, and here's the background. So we see the transition phase, and we see the scaled offset, and we see the background offset, and the new offset, and the last offset, and the state. And this actually is not helping us a lot. Yes, this also works on the device, so you can see, hey, we're running at, I don't know, a lot of FPS, but we're trying to run at 60 FPS, and screen width and number of vertices we're rendering, so it's 4,500. We have 576 textures, which is virtual textures, is not physical textures. The actual real textures, we have 21 textures in this whole thing. So we have one physics update. This is memory, 22 game objects. Yeah, so this is actually not helping as much as I wanted, but I'm gonna leave it on for the moment. And this was probably part of a refactoring because there was an initialized def, and it probably should have been moved down there. And I don't care. I just leave it on for now. So how are we doing for time? 26 minutes. Okay. So it's calling the base class update. And this is a pattern that you will see a lot, that it doesn't call. I mean, the base class is just basically the background is a decoration, so we could call decoration update, but whenever we change the hierarchy, we would need to change all the places where we call the parent. So it's this this just type def the base class, and then call it. So we only have to change that one type def and the inheritance hierarchy. So, and then this is the so let's go to decoration, and decoration has an update. So it calculates the new position, and oh. Nice. You see that here? That is an actual dot product. So it checks if the object has a start position. The object has a start position and end position, and then it moves. And as soon as it crosses the end position, the dot product will flip of the vectors, and that's our point where we either kill it because it's non-looping, or we loop it. So this is basically this here is a loop, and even if we have an update 5 hours because we skipped frames or something, this will work. Give me 15 seconds. I need to turn on the heating. It's like literally literal. It's freezing in here. So it's freezing. So I'm in away mode. Maybe away mode is not what I want. So turn the living room up. Turn it up. Make it hot in here. And boost it for a long time. So heating turned up. Nice. So decorations move in a certain direction. So and decorations. So this is just the looping, and then base class again. And let's jump here. So decoration is a game object. Let's go to game object, and then game object has an update, and all this is kind of a bit refactored in the newer version of the base library, but this is the way we want to go to game object. And this does all the if it's fading out, reduce the opacity. If it has an animated texture, update the texture. If it has a spawn duration, then just spawn it, and otherwise just so this is spawn with speed in direction, and this is just move. So this is what's moving the background, and so all the moving is fine, but we don't want the moving to actually move the thing. I know, long story just to get to this point. So what if we actually say, okay, if defined old background code, and just say, you know what, just go away. Just don't render. No more background. So that is step one. And now let's just render a full screen quad. So what we could do, and I didn't disable everything. I still left kind of the whole texture code and stuff in here. maybe I could do this. Wrong key again. Windows key. So what we could do is say renderer at textured full screen quad. Just textured full screen quad. Just use the current settings and just make a full screen quad. And that calculates the screen corners and everything, and probably will stretch the texture out and whatnot. So now we have an unmoving texture, and you see it's stretched because it basically says, hey, texture coordinates are from 0 to 1 to 0 to 1. But this will work in any screen resolution. So what we want to fix now, and when you remember when we did the shader test with 64, we did exactly that, but we made sure the texture repeated. And the way we make the texture repeat, we don't have texture coordinates from 0 to 1. We have 0 to 1 from here to here, because it's always fixed height. It's virtual 1024, and then just have 0 to whatever from side to side. And this is what I'm going to do now. So we don't want to render full screen quad. Well, we want to render full screen quad, but unfortunately, we cannot render a full screen quad with defined texture coordinates. So this just adds a textured quad with the width and the height. So if we go back here, we could also, this is just a convenience wrapper because we need it so many times. Sorry about the bad cut and paste job here. So this is the object width, and we need the renderer get width, I hope. And let's quickly see renderer. Let's quickly see the definition of this. So this gets the X position, the Y position, the width, the height, and the rotation. So this is already much nicer. but it will render the exact same thing. It's just we want abstraction layer closer to where we want to be. We're just stealing existing code basically and trying to drill down what's the optimal. I mean, we know we don't need rotation, so this should look exactly the same. Nice. So a lot of magic is going on here to do the rotation, but in the end, it's doing add triangle with the 4 vertices, and here it's saying, so this is basically the magic loop. It says set texture coordinates, add vertex. So what I'm leaning towards doing, just stealing. Let's check the header real quick. Maybe there's a generic add textured quad. Add textured quad. Add textured subquad. So this gets, what does start and end mean? Okay. So what I would really like is add textured quad with scaled texture coordinates. Is that something that's generic enough so we might want to reuse it? It's a question now, do we implement the generic fully reusable version, or do we just generate the version for the background? And whenever I come to that point and I'm not sure, it's usually a sign that we want to do the specific version right now. So what I will do, I will just steal this code. I will just flat out steal this code, go into background, and say this is a static render full screen background. It's temporary, so, and we just put this code here, and this will need the renderer. Yeah, I know. So, and this is renderer get width, and the height is renderer get height. And then we need to include for base mass vector 3. Let me check real quick. Vector3.hpp, yeah. And we need a matrix. We don't do rotation, so we can completely ignore this part. No rotation, so no multiplication, but we want the offset. Do we want an offset? We don't even want an offset. I'm just commenting that out. So right now we just copied the existing code here. Now let's use it. So what did we call it? Render full screen quad. Full screen background, and that just gets the renderer. So nothing should have changed here. We just removed the rotation, which was not needed anyway, and removed the plus X and plus Y, which were 0, 0 anyway. So adding 0 didn't ever do anything good. So still stretch background not moving. Good, but texture broken. So what we actually want here is these are the texture coordinates, and so this is X and Y, and what we actually want, we want not 0. So let's have a tag X start, that's 0.0f, and a tag X, and that's currently 1 point. So this is start, this is start, this is end, and yeah, I forgot the. You see what I'm doing? Windows keys, not Windows keys, the position where the key on Windows would be. So muscle memory. So again, nothing changed. Nothing changed. And so what we actually want to do, the height is fixed. The height is always, let me go tiny bit OCD here. The height is always 1. It's always from 0 to 1. We want 1, but we don't want this stretching, so we need the aspect ratio. So and this is basically the width divided by the height. So aspect ratio. So if the screen is too wide and the height is 1, then it's 2 to 1, which is 2. So let's actually the next thing is tag X width, which would be 1.0, but we want to double it up. So we want the aspect ratio here. And then we could just say, okay, let's change the order here just for. We always start at 0 for the moment, and then just say this is times. This is not. We don't want to go to 1. We want to go to the tag width, right? Texture width, right? And this is probably the point where we should use a test texture like a checkerboard or something. But in theory, we fixed the stretching of the background now, and let's quickly verify that. So the stretching is fixed, and this should be resolution independent. And actually, we have a texture wrap mode enabled, so we don't even have to touch the shader to fix the overflow. So what we can do here now is, and I'm just gonna cheat. So if we want to animate this, and this is nowhere, don't do this. So that's animating the left side, and the end is obviously the start plus the width. And this will have, what's M position? Oh. I'm just gonna cheat and pass this in. This needs a serious refactoring cleanup round, but this needs some serious refactoring. So this speed is much too fast, but you see it's moving. And this moving back and forth is actually it's kind of, how do you call that effect? Sometimes when a car moves very fast and you film it, it looks like they spin backwards because the shutter speed kind of conflicts with this is what's going on here. So let's just for now say, okay, 0.01 f times, and we could calculate pixels backwards to texels, what the actual number should be, but we want this parallax anyway, so it should probably be a user tweakable value, so we calculate the perfect move at the right speed, but we want the background to kind of, oh, it's moving in the wrong direction. You see that? Whoa, trippy, 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 trippy. Let's. Cheating. Massive cheat here. I just want the working, a kind of working version before I do the. And this actually doesn't look too bad. Maybe it's too slow, but let me. So I have a version of Fiiish on my phone. You cannot see this, but this is the version in store, and I'm just going to use this as kind of reference. So I think what we're actually seeing is some kind of rounding error. So the speed, I'm just following this circle. Oh, you cannot see. I'm just following this circle here. So middle of the screen circle. So it's probably 10% too fast, but roughly what we had before. I don't like the jerkiness. But otherwise, this is already pretty solid. And the jerkiness is let's just try a release debug build and run it on the iPhone 8. I just want a little smaller device with less pixels and a different aspect ratio to prove that we didn't only fix it for this device, but have a version that works on all devices before we go deeper into this. Maybe I should start it and not wait for it to magically jump up at me. Hello? No, 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 don't do that. Don't. So this looks pretty smooth, and I like how the parallax is working. I'm not sure, is it moving at all? Yeah, it's moving. Maybe it's a tiny bit too slow. But I would say this is worth a test flight build to actually test this on multiple devices. And there is a lot of optimization we could do. Is it too slow? I should add a slider here that says, hey, maybe I want it a bit faster here, and it was never tuned, so do I have the to do here? So what I will put on the later list, because I really want the update in this store, I put on the later list tune background scrolling speed and fix rendering to be precise. I mean, right now it's just ballparked. And what we actually want to do, we want to make it precise. So whatever speed we set later is, for example, we say the background moves by 10 pixels a second, then it moves by 10 pixels a second, and then we can just. But I just put it in the to do here because yeah, we really. So this is the thing we actually worked on, and this is not yet done, but nearly. So I just made this faster. Let's see. This actually feels kind of okay. You still have the parallax, so the background moves slower than the foreground, which is nice. Let's play this for a while because I want to see if there's any wrapping errors. And I know at least one guy, when he watches the video, he's not online right now, but tech artist friend of mine, if he watches this, he's going to be like, what the hell are you just doing? Yes, I'm talking to you, and you can write me some feedback, and I'll do a special episode just about that. But in general, this was pretty straightforward, and obviously this code needs serious cleanup. So I don't see any wrapping glitches or anything, which is nice. So I'm gonna stop this and just gonna remove this whole mess. What the hell was I thinking? Man, this is just bye. And I'm gonna put a note in here that says to do correct calculation based on pixel speed of object for texture coordinate speed. And then I'm just gonna put a hack speed is roughly guesstimated. I love the word guesstimated. Guesstimated. guess the estimate. Guesstimated to feel kind of nearly right. Yeah. It's roughly guesstimated to feel kind of nearly right. That's the exact wording. And I'm gonna do one thing here. I will do one thing here, and that is I'm just gonna say, okay, I'm not a fan of the static there, so I'm just gonna do okay. This is background. What did just fail? Thematic issue. Okay, fair enough. It says, hey, the render here is const, then please don't call non-const methods, and render is pretty much const, so, and then obviously we have to do that here as well. And that's fine. I don't care about. So this looks good to me. So we have some white space fixes, which I don't really care about that much. We removed a lot of code. We added the README, so git commit fixed widescreen background issue. Oh, this is patching the. I want to check out how fast that is on the new laptop. Remember, we had the screenshots in there, so it's diffing the uncompressed screenshots, which just takes forever and a day. While it does that, mouse, can you please move? Windows, mouse, thank you. So we did this. This is a nice point to cut off. This is a nice point because we can do this here. The wrong keyboard. Sorry. This system is slow, but yeah, we talked about that so many times. So we'll check this one here, and yeah. So I'm gonna stop now. Obviously, I'm gonna do the push here to kick off the CI system, and I'm gonna, once it's pushed, I hope the push doesn't overload the local network because the stream is using up all the bandwidth. Usually this is much faster, but I think I'm dropping frames for some reason, but I don't know why. The system shouldn't be doing anything. Well, that's Windows for you. Yeah, we fixed the widescreen issue. We pushed this. I'm gonna run the snapshot thingy again while you're gone, and I'm gonna be back probably. this does the snapshots for the 4 devices we need. So iPhone 8 Plus, iPhone 11 Pro Max, iPad Pro, and then third generation iPad Pro, and this will just run for like 15 minutes, and that's where we first saw the glitch. So let's see if this works. If this works, then hopefully we only have to do the title screen, and I'm kind of halfway willing to upload with the broken title screen. I am done for now, but I will be definitely back today later, and I'm gonna reboot this window box and hope that fixes some of the issues I'm seeing here. I'm not sure if you're seeing them here, so see you later tonight. Ciao.